and welcome. My name is George Schlackheg, and you know what? I am way overdue for a monthly unscripted vlog. So this shall be the February 2024 version of it. Yeah, I have to admit that in January I didn't do it. Seems like nobody noticed. Nobody asked me about it. But I do these because it's a very important exercise for me. I'm not naturally a born public speaker, not even really that good at talking to the camera. And in order to practice it and get better at it, I do unscripted vlog just once a month. And maybe eventually in the future, all my videos are going to be more or less unscripted, maybe with some notes or something, because I tend to, when I do unscripted vlogs, I tend to forget sometimes essential things that I had on my head before. And that's often why I fail to do a good unscripted vlog, because I pause and think what I was going to say. Here I'm at Playa Mismaloya. It's only about, I want to say, maybe 10 kilometers, maybe 15 kilometers away from Puerto Vallarta, where we're staying. So I took a bus here for 10 pesos. It was worth it, I guess. And it's a beautiful place. I haven't stopped here before. Barbara didn't want to come along. She's got some studying to do via the internet. So I took this opportunity to come out here. There's also these islands that are in front here, so I'm planning to get some good drone shots of those. Anyways, what's ticking, guys? I am in Puerto Vallarta, or I should say Playa Mismaloya. I'm in Mexico. And it is the end of February, and things are going to change a lot, as you could probably imagine, because we're not going to stay down here in Mexico forever. We got to return to Canada, got to return to the working life, make money, hopefully increase the revenue with the content creation over time, which has been happening, but it's ever so slow, I tell you guys. And well, content creation for me, it's creating drone videos that I can market on Pond 5, or it's also actually drone videos for hire. That's my idea that I want to get into more and more. However, I don't completely want to quit the handyman business that I've been into for, like, hell, it's been about 10 years or so. Well, I don't know if you'll remember, if you go back about a year and 3 months or so, I had my work truck stolen out of our driveway at home. And I've never replaced that truck yet because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was half leaning toward just retiring from that, knowing that I don't really have the means to generate much income without it. So I started doing little jobs using the car, which is basically Barbara's car, which is a Ford Focus. It's not really suited for hauling much or being a work vehicle at all. You know, this break that we took here in Mexico is long enough for me to reflect on things. Oh, wow, as a big pelican just flew right by me. Yeah, I've come to the conclusion that for me, it makes sense to get another pickup truck. I've pretty much lost the hope that my pickup truck is going to pop up somewhere. This was up to maybe 6 months from the time it got stolen, or even beyond that. It was in the back of my mind, you know, this truck has to be somewhere. It doesn't just disappear out of thin air or into thin air, because it's a big freaking thing, you know, it's an old F-150. I mean, how can it just be gone? But yeah, right now, I don't think that thing is going to come back. So my plan for the near future is actually to go out and get one. I'm on a strict budget, as it's always the case here. And well, I've been scoping out Marketplace, Edmonton, looking for a pickup truck. 80% of the trucks that are on there are not interesting to me at all, because they've got 4-door, big cab, family vehicle, 5-foot box. Totally useless as a work truck, I tell you. What I need is either a regular cab with just a bench seat, or the cab that I used to have on my old truck, which was called Super Cab. There's a little seat in the back, but it's more I could put my tools there. Let's put it that way. And then the most important thing is an 8-foot bed. And in order to have a simple truck with not much headaches, I don't drive it that much. I don't drive it hardly at all in the winter. 2-wheel drive. That's all I want. And ideally, I am looking for a truck that is from the 1990s, perhaps the 1980s, perhaps even the 1970s. Some of you might say, well, these are totally obsolete and gas guzzlers and they're emitting more carbon than a modern truck, which may all be true, but just the resources it takes to make a new truck. Like, it's not the kind of truck you drive. It's actually more, I think the most important thing is how much do you drive it. My idea is I get this truck, I use it for work. And over the 10 years or so that I've had mine, was it 10 years? Not quite, but say it was over 9 years. Like when I had this, first got this, it had 55,000 kilometers. And when it disappeared, it didn't even have 115. So in all this time, I put about 60,000 kilometers on it. And it's never going to get driven more. So even if I had the worst truck ever from the 1960s with no emissions control on it, I probably emit less carbon into the air than somebody with a modern F-150 who drives around the country every day. Keep that in mind. Now, I don't want to talk just about the truck, but you can tell it's been a big thing on my mind. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Puerto Vallarta. What do I love about it? A whole lot of things. The reason I didn't get a January vlog in like this is because the first few weeks here, we were actually busy learning about this place, learning where we could stay. I had it in my head we wanted bicycles to get around, and it worked out okay, but the bicycles were a lot more expensive than we had anticipated, so I opted for getting 2 used ones. They weren't all that great, but they did the job. We had a few good bike rides together. I did a lot of riding to stores and exploring the city. That was good. But yeah, January was pretty much spent learning the place. I've been to Mexico a lot of different times, and every time it's been great. But it's always a different place, or much of the times. And Mexico, maybe Mexico, but different areas are completely different. Like, if this would have been, say, I would have been to Veracruz or to Yucatan or somewhere, I would have been confident to bring my own bike here or just purchase a bike and ride the hell out of it. Here in Puerto Vallarta, there are 2 things that make this almost impossible. The first one is the condition of the roads. The highway is okay, but the roads in town, they're horrible. Cobblestone. You've seen that in one of my videos, and if you haven't, well, I'll put it up here. Yeah, if you want to go riding your bike in Puerto Vallarta, well, think about it twice and watch my video. Now, do I regret getting those bikes? Not really, but now we're looking at the time running out, and I have to, in the next 2 days here, I have to put an ad on Facebook Marketplace and just hope that somebody is going to give me back some of the money I spent on them. I don't expect to get it all back, but hey, there was some effort there. It's got to be worth something. And that's going to basically decide whether this whole bicycle thing was worth it or not. And it's going to stretch our budget to maybe buy a few things. I could use a new hat and maybe a new shirt or something like that, nice meal with Barbara. So that's where we're at. We're pretty much running toward the end of our budget here. And once we get back home, it's just back to the grind. We have to pick up jobs, work, just basically work toward next year. And then we'll see what happens. We're also working toward paying off our house. So there's another big challenge coming our way. But, that's life. You have challenges all the time. And, You know, if you just put some effort into it, it always kind of works out. It works good. So what else do I need to tell you about February? Well, we had a fantastic time. Maybe you could see some of the videos I posted here. It's travel videos, and that's one of my favorite things to do. See, this channel, however, it's always been very diverse. I think in some way that actually worked against it. So now, after 3 years of never taking a break from YouTube, always posting at least on a weekly basis, and much of the time posting daily shorts, which like, I hope you forgive me for that, but I don't put a whole lot of effort into it because I just simply can't. The shorts are there to entertain you and to get some new eyeballs finding my channel, perhaps subscribe and watch some of my longer content. Interesting things coming up. I still have to cut the branch on the tree in the backyard. We had an estimate by an arborist done. It was a bit out of our range, especially before doing such a trip. Fixing a pickup truck, well, finding a pickup truck, fixing it up. Then there's the bike rides, you know. I'm looking forward to a good bike riding season now. Edmonton has had in the past few months, quite a long time actually, a severe drought. And I'm hoping that in the springtime that's going to change to some extent so that we actually get some rain and the summer doesn't have to be all screwed up with either fire, smoke, or oftentimes we actually have the rain in July when it's warmest, but you know, then the weather is still very unstable. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for a beautiful summer in Edmonton. I mean, we often have those. We have long summers too. They last into October. Well, that's it, guys. This is my February unscripted vlog. I pretty much talked here for, what is it now? Almost 14 minutes non-stop. If the video ain't that long, that's because I cut out some of the stuff that I misspoke or that was kind of awkward. But I hope you enjoyed it anyways. And, well, if so, give me a thumbs up. If you're brand new here, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in drones, well, I've got another channel for that. I started it to have a channel that's more niche down and also to kind of boost my drone business. That's another thing I didn't talk about, but, you know, I got to get more aggressive about it because there's a lot of money to be made and I haven't had a piece of it yet. So this is the plan, you know, making good video footage. I've got over 800 clips right now on Pond 5. Just now, you know, I'm getting sales on wire stock almost every week. However, they pay me only like $2-3 a piece. So if this starts happening on Pond 5, guys, then it'll actually be worth it. So I'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks for listening to me.